He takes everything serious. He has a very large sense of himself. At least you always know where you stand with Pops.
Let's switch gears to another film. It's just now out. You can catch it on HBO Max, folks. It is The Many Saints of Newark. And I know Rob has seen it. I actually just saw it. I found it to be slow, monotonous, and tedious. Not bad, but
Right.
I think it's basically the problem of having a television adaptation to a film adaptation with the same sort of structure and approach. So the problem is it's this very slow, methodical character development, and they're really, really setting up this Tony Soprano growth. But the problem is the main character and his story arc doesn't really do it for me. He's never mean and cruel enough to be like the Goodfellas interesting. He's never sort of like noble. There's this weird, he has this again, if you don't want spoilers, folks, you should be watching my videos anyway. I'm done with planning spoiler and non-spoiler stuff.
And as you know, Brandon, I'm definitely
Rob
all
doesn't
about
even
the
care
spoilers.
about spoilers. He's like, just tell me what the end credit scene was.
Right, exactly.
All right, so he murders his dad, and then there's this scene where he goes and visits the twin, and he's like, well, I'm trying to do good deeds. And as the audience member, you know why, but it never, to me, paid off for me. Like, it never worked for me. And it became tedious that it kept coming up in conversation, even though we know the twin completely in on it. Ray Liotta's character was fantastic. Ray Liotta was definitely probably the better part of the entire
okay, so let's talk inconsistencies.
Yes.
Okay. So the one twin, Dickie's dad, had this like Italian accent going on when he first started to come off the boat.
Because he's been to the homeland, he's just gotten back.
Right. And then the brother is like completely like no accent whatsoever. He's just like completely monotone.
Yeah.
But now, okay, so let's first of all, my opinion is I enjoyed it, but it should never been a theater movie.
Yeah, why do we not just do a mini series?
It should have just been either a mini series, break it up into a couple and just expand on some of the characters, or make it a 2-hour TV movie on HBO.
Something.
You know.
I agree.
It definitely is not theater worthy.
Do
my opinion, it's going to bomb in the
4-hour movie on HBO. That would be fine. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but what I enjoyed about it was, usually you have older actors trying to imitate, like, for instance, if say they do a future version of Stranger Things, okay, so they're going to find, or It, even the second version of It, where they found characters that were similar to the younger versions, but except older. Well, here we had the opposite. Yeah. You had these people that were younger, supposed to be younger characters, trying to mimic the standard that was set in The Sopranos.
Sure.
Especially the one that was trying to be like Steven Van Zandt, you know, imitating the movements and with the hair and everything. So some of that I liked. I thought they did a good job with that, especially with Uncle Junior. I thought, you know, you can definitely see where it started. But that, again, for me, I looked at it as getting a background on what made the characters in the movie, in the series. So I didn't look at it as like a theater movie, because obviously I would never go into theater to see that. I would wait till it came out, because it's just not, it didn't pique my interest enough to spend money to go see it, basically.
Yeah, I really struggled with the idea that this was a good idea because it doesn't have enough action or meat as a theatrical thing. And then I got to be honest, the high point of the movie, there's a couple parts that are pretty good, and actually the mom's done really well. Vera Farmiga is always a great actress. She did a great job. You mentioned Corey Stoll. He basically plays Junior. He's really good. There's great lines, but it comes to a point where there's a scene where, Dickie stepped away. Tony's feeling betrayed. He's not answering the phone. He gets into a fist fight, and you start to see violent side of Tony. I'm like, okay, so now we're finally in the third act, and we're finally going to see Tony become mafioso. We're going to see him. It's going to be like a slippery slope into the life. He didn't want to be a part of the life. There's all this talk about sports and football, but nope, he's going to get sucked into the life. We're going to have basically like the Godfather syndrome. No matter how far they get away, you're in the life. You're not getting out of the life. And it never really felt that way. As fast as they pull it in, they pulled you right back out again. And I just did not like that. So I think we don't really disagree very much on this one. I think we both kind of feel about the same. It's kind of a Midland thing. It's
Yeah.
okay. I think if you're a big Sopranos fan and wanted to see a little bit more of the backstory, but to me,
But I think the way,
it's TV movie. It's not really good theatrical.
yeah, it's definitely a made for TV movie. It's not a theater movie. And I think the influence that we see with Dickie on Tony is, like you said, Dickie's a softer side. And, that's one of the whole things with Tony is, even though he's got a bad temper, he tries to show that soft side, and he tries to deal with his anxiety and go into the psychiatrist, and where if Dickie was in a different time, if he was in this time where Tony was, I think you'd see him trying to go to therapy and help with these good deeds. He'd be in like some kind of 12-step program to do good deeds.
I mean, you're absolutely right, because they set that up in multiple ways, right? So even when they find the body, he has the mom's meds in his pocket, but the mom thinks it's for him, not for her. Like, so all this stuff's played up to kind of justify Tony's sympathies to reaching out for help and dealing with the mental illness that comes from all this. All right, so I'll tell you again, spoilers aside, I don't understand. Okay, you and I are both such probably diehard mob movie fans. I know I am.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, at the end, so earlier in the film, Junior falls, destroys his back, and he gets mocked by Dickie, right?
But did you notice, if you remember how close Tony's mom and Uncle Junior were in the series, now you see why. Because they were having an affair.
Okay, right.
She was the one in bed with Junior. Yeah, so.
Right. No, I understand. But what I was trying to get at was, so at the end, we have the shot of Dickie. He's in his trunk. Then he gets assassinated, and we see that Junior is the one that did the hit.
Right.
My mob brain turned on and went, why would the family okay for Junior to kill Dickie over hurt feelings because he was laughed at because he fell? It made no sense to me. Like, I didn't understand. I know Sopranos pretty much follow general mob rules of how things.
Yeah, but I don't think they knew.
That didn't work at all like that.
Yeah, I don't think it was sanctioned by anybody. He did it on his own.
Oh, all right, that's never really talked about. You see that in mob movies, they always cover this because it's very important for us to keep our head straight on who's following rules and who's not following rules. Because if you don't follow rules, it's always going to come back and get you.
Let's see. I think, because if you look in the series, they blamed Dickie's death on a cop. That's in the series, because Tony made Christopher go kill him. Go kill the cop.
Right.
Okay.
And Christopher finds out later there's more to the story.
Yeah, but I mean, that's, I think we know it wasn't sanctioned, or else they wouldn't have, they would have said, okay, Uncle, Junior had him killed so he can grab power. But really, that's what ended up happening, because the brother, Tony's dad, went to prison eventually again, and we don't find out how he died. That's why I thought it should have went further, or some, like, I read a lot
Tony,
of stuff.
Right?
So,
we need to see Tony really getting sucked more into this, because it really is just kind of, you get to a certain point and the dead body's there. Pinky swear thing, which was for it to actually happen and not be like in his head, was weird. Like, I wish I don't know how Hollywood keeps doing this. They do these little weird things where you're not in the movie because the dead body moves and they touch fingers, and you're like, well, how about he just remembers that happening, not actually seeing the dead body move? That makes no sense. And then we should have seen Tony more into the family. Like, we should have seen another scene or two, right? And then you have the credit shot where you see Harold still alive, like nothing ever happened to Harold. And that would not have flown. Someone would have taken that guy.
No, not at all. I can't believe nobody saw him pull the trigger.
Well, it doesn't matter, because at least everybody would have known he would have been connected at some point. Right. There's no way they were going to let that go. That would just continue until you get to the main guy. They're already torturing people, so they're not going to stop.
Right, exactly. Yeah, never.
All right, so we kind of have a Midland thought on this. I don't think we disagree really on this one.
Yeah. So
all right. And
it does make me want to go watch the series again. So
it made me think about a few episodes. I'm not sure I want to sit through the whole thing again. I really enjoyed the beginning, but as it goes on,
the first half of the series was really good.
Yeah. That's where
the second half started going down a little bit, got a little crazy. Once the FBI got involved, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. Isn't that the truth? It's all